This week on the ZTV Sports Report,
we have all the highlights from the court to the fields, including interviews from our star football and women's soccer athletes.
Plus the return of our expert analyst, Don LaDon Wagner, as he shares his thoughts of the men's soccer and football team performance thus far.
All that and more on the ZTV Sports Report, which starts now. Welcome to the ZTV Sports Report, your home for everything Akron Zips Athletics. I'm Daniel Cermak.
And I'm Cameron Justice.
The football team continues to impress despite having a tough non-conference schedule.
The Zips look to continue their non-conference play against Appalachian State. Plus, we spotlight our star wide receiver, JoJo Natson. Let's take a look.
Early on, Akron would find themselves in a 10-0 hole until running back Van Edwards puts some moves on the defense and gets down deep into Appalachian State territory. And then a couple plays later, Thomas Woodson finds one of his favorite receivers, Jerome Lane Jr., for the touchdown. Next possession for Appalachian State, and a miscue fumble. And Akron says they got it. The referee says they got it. And then Akron is on the move once again. Here, Thomas Woodson, I got shakes. Gets down into Appalachian State territory. Then Van Edwards on the run again. And can they stop him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still on his feet. But they will eventually blow the play dead. Then Thomas Woodson will find A.J. Coney. Those ankles are with Harambe now. And Coney is with the end zone. And that would give Akron a 14-10 lead. Next drive for the Mountaineers, and swing pass, spin move, another spin move, and get off me, and into Akron territory. Next play, Taylor Lamb would find his tight end wide open, streaking down the field, and that will give Appalachian State a 17-10 lead. Next possession for Akron, Thomas Woodson back, and that is picked off for the second time in this game. And Appalachian State would return it into Akron territory, where they would later on punch it in for a score, giving them a 24-10 lead. Then, right before the half ends, Appalachian State on the attack again, and eventually Jalen Moore would find the end zone, putting them up 31-10. Akron wouldn't go away, as here Van Edwards will find himself into the end zone. Akron was only down by 2 scores. Akron on the attack again, and Thomas Woodson would drop back and throw a deep ball. There was a flag on the play, but Akron still manages to pick up a nice chunk of yards. Then a pass off to Austin Wolf, and Austin Wolf takes it down almost to the 20. Then next play, Jerome Lane Jr. at it again, and he gets inside the red zone. Next play, and Thomas Woodson drops it into the basket. JoJo Natson with a great catch, 38-31 Appalachian State. But Jalen Moore was an absolute beast today. 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and puts them up by 2 scores again. But Traylor Bennett with a rushing touchdown right there. And Akron still believes they can win. Gets the score to 45-38. But it just wasn't meant to be, as 45-38 would be the final score.
Wide receiver JoJo Natson might look small, but you can't overstate his huge impact on Akron football.
Transfer, and you say, well, God, will this guy ever buy into the blue and gold? Will he buy into our colors? Will he buy into our school tradition? Will his heart pump a little faster when somebody says they're a Zip? And you worry about a guy with 1 year. But this guy is such a competitor. He loves to compete. He loves to play hard. He practices hard. He plays hard. I guess I don't care who it is. He's going to play his very, very best.
I always, hold myself to, high expectations, just because, I know what I'm capable of doing. God has blessed me with, a good, talent. And, I worked so hard over the summer, and, taking that year off, I've been working so hard for this. So, I just feel like, it's just blessings coming my way.
Natson had to sit out a year following his transfer from Utah State, where he was named an All-Mountain West honorable mention and ranked 11th all-time in career receptions.
I mean, it was tough at first, but, I had to, see the bigger picture at the end of the day. I had to just, it was a grind. I had to sit out and, be a scout player for a year. And, I just took that time as, to get better and better my game as an athlete. So once my year was over with, I knew what I was capable of doing. So once the year was over with, coaches, expected big things out of me.
Natson's below-average size hasn't stopped NFL scouts from being around the program all year, and Natson sees his size as a chip on his shoulder.
All my life I've been against all odds, whether it's my size or, my height, whatever it is, but I always overcame it. Like I say, I'm probably the smallest guy on the team, but I'm making a lot of plays. So I feel like once you're making plays, all that other stuff, it substitutes out.
In his second career game at Camp Randall, Natson took a punt to the house against Wisconsin for Akron's only touchdown of the day. The score was also Akron's first punt return touchdown in over a decade.
That was big. That was my second time playing in that stadium as well. And I was going against some of my old high school teammates, so that was big. I was happy I got that on them.
Natson has 5 touchdown catches on the year for 355 yards, helping to lead Akron to a 2-2 record in non-conference play, but Natson still sees room for improvement.
The App State game was a tough loss for us, but, we looking to bounce back, this week, starting with Kent State, and then, taking one game at a time. That's our biggest thing. We got the talent, to match up with every team we play from here on out. We just got to take one game at a time, and, just clean up some of those small mistakes, and we should be fine.
A tough loss against Appalachian State, but this Akron team has showed resilience, and you certainly saw that against the Mountaineers.
Akron will need that resilience as they head into MAC play.
That's for sure. We have to take a commercial break, but when we return, we take a look at the highlights from the women's soccer team.
Plus, I got the chance to talk to women's soccer's Sarah Civic, Chloe Allen, and Coach Hurley. Coming up next.
Welcome back to the ZTV Sports Report. The women's soccer team has had a difficult schedule, especially with 13 freshmen on the roster, and the team played just 2 home games before this weekend's matchups against Toledo and Bowling Green. And we have the highlights.
But first, I talked with Sarah Civic, one of the most decorated players in Akron women's soccer history, as well as newcomer Chloe Allen, who has already made a huge impact on the team. Check it out. Sarah Civic, senior. Chloe Allen, freshman. We got Akron star forwards on the women's soccer team to share with us their goals for this season.
Honestly, definitely make it to the MAC tournament, see what we can do in there, and hopefully just maybe clinch one more assist to get to be the all-time leading assist score or whatever it's called, so yeah.
Well, definitely for freshman year to just learn from the older girls because they're all excellent players and they have a lot to offer. Going forward, I definitely want to be more of an energy on the field and have a louder voice.
Civic is topping the ranks in multiple facets of the program's history and told us how she feels about these achievements.
Honestly, I'm just flattered that I'm receiving all these, and it just kind of came about. I started scoring goals and they were like, oh, you're ranked now, and so I was like, it's awesome, but I obviously just couldn't do it without my teammates, without the amazing coaches and people around me, so.
We then heard Allen's take on her first collegiate hat trick she accomplished during the home opener.
It was actually awesome. When I was actually in the process of scoring them, I wasn't even thinking about it. There was just so much energy, and then someone was like, you have 3 goals, and I was like, oh, cool. It was awesome.
We asked freshman Chloe Allen what she was learning from her senior counterpart, Sarah Civic.
Sarah's an excellent player. She plays with such tenacity, and she's so strong, and she can hold up the ball. And it's just, I learned from her because she teaches me how to be strong against girls that are bigger than me and just don't really care about whether they hurt me or not. So.
Civic seemed flattered as Allen agreed from the sidelines when we asked if she did anything to guide Allen in her playing. And she gave us some insight into the two's on-field relationship.
She shakes her head, yeah. I mean, it's just it's more not by me saying anything, but just kind of on the field, I guess. We play off each other well. She's a very good player and obviously just kind of does her own thing and knows how to score, so.
Head coach, Coach Hurley, discussed her thoughts on Sarah Civic with us.
She's a competitor every day in training. She gives it everything. She's a good barometer for the young players to look up to and to see what it takes. You know, Sarah knows there's no guarantees in this team, and she works hard every day in training. But when she's called upon, she's definitely ready to go.
And her thoughts on freshman Chloe Allen?
She has all the potential. She has, you know, she's athletic, she's quick, she can score goals. Chloe has great potential to be a very good player, I think, you know, in the MAC, and she's athletic. And I think, you know, with Chloe, you know, I just think she needs to be a little bit more assertive. We talk about her all the time. She's a quiet young lady, a quality young lady. She's a bit shy at times, and we want her to be a little bit more, you know, for lack of a better term, not so shy on the field.
The freshman-senior duo parted with some final words on their individual achievements so far this season.
I think it's definitely a good start, but there's always progress to be made, so I'm just trying to look up from there.
It's good. I don't even know. It's like a crazy feeling because I'm like, I don't even know. It just all flew by, you know. But I'm very honored.
The Akron women's soccer team battled against their northern rivals Toledo on Friday, September 30th. And in the first half, the Rockets looked to attack. Here, a beautifully played ball, but the shot is just too high. Later, Akron's Amy Rogozinski's free kick finds Julia Crow, who can't convert. Akron, again, looking to attack. Chloe Allen gets bulldozed by a Toledo defender and the goalkeeper, but no penalty was called. Toledo's Alina Sidwell scores for the Rockets, putting them up 1-0. Zips trying to respond before the end of the half. The sophomore Erica Schaefer launches a cannon, but just goes over the goal. Second half, Akron, again, being aggressive offensively. Rachel Bauman passes to Chloe Allen. Allen, just stopped by the goalkeeper. Sure would like to have that one back. Akron continued to have opportunities to score, but they just could not find the back of the net. Here, the senior Sarah Civic tries to find the freshman Chloe Allen. Again, Toledo's goalkeeper not letting anything past her. And then watch this, Shelby Gillespie trying to get fancy with a flip off the throw-in. Ouch, just not effective, but that flip was great. But the highlight of the game comes off the 90th minute. Amy Rogozinski bombs a 50-yard free kick that's headed in by defender Ashley Amato. What a play! Zips tie the game, and we're headed to overtime. But in overtime, neither team could get it done. The Zips go on tying this one against the Rockets 1-1. Here we go. Game number 2 between Akron and Bowling Green played Saturday, October 2nd. Bowling Green came out firing in the first half. A corner finds Skylar Fleek, who knocks it in. Bowling Green goes up 1-0. Later, Akron tries to score off of a corner of their own. Madison Kaiser header goes left of the goal. Akron continues to trail. BG tries to score before the end of the first half, but the kick is blocked by Annabelle Hegeman. Second half, Akron again tries to find an answer. Shea O'Brien, long shot, goes sailing over the goal. And then Bowling Green off a free kick. It's headed in by Sam Hauser. Bowling Green goes up 2-0. But finally, in the 83rd minute, Ashley Amato makes it her second goal of her career, but too little too late for the Zips, and Akron falls 2-1.
The team had to wait for the last day of the season to find out if they even made the tournament in 2015, but the Zips are hoping to make the MAC tournament outright this year.
And with decent showings against Toledo and BG, it looks like they're on their way.
That's for sure, but we are the ones to judge. That's for our resident hot taker, Don Wagner.
Oh, of course. Be sure to tune in for Dante coming up next. Welcome back to the ZTV Sports Report.
Just before the highly anticipated Don Take, we have highlights from the men's soccer team and the volleyball team.
That's right. The soccer team took the field against VCU, and the volleyball team hit the court against Buffalo. Let's take a look.
The Akron men's soccer team took on VCU looking for a win after a tough loss on the road to Tulsa. And we're going to pick things up in the second half. Jonathan Lewis on the attack, passes to Sam Gainford, whose shot goes right into the goalkeeper's hands.
Gainford with
Again, Lewis trying to find Stuart Holthusen, but can't make the cross. Now VCU getting their chance to score. Lou Fatton skies one over Ben Lunt. And then the big fella doing what he does best, looking for his 5th shutout of the season. Later, Zips attacking. Lightning Lewis running the length of the field, passes to Holthusen, but his shot isn't good. By the way, good to see Stewart out there after coming off injuries that kept him out since last year. Akron desperately trying to find a goal. Adam Najim from the top of the box. Again, stopped by the VCU goalkeeper. Now the other captain, Brad Bruhawk, trying to score another dramatic goal. A perfect corner from Sky Harder, but Brad's header just goes over the crossbar. What an attempt. And with that, we are headed to extra time. And in overtime, Ruhawk again trying to head it in, but cannot convert. Second overtime, Zips with another opportunity. Robbie Dambrot feeds it to Stewart, and the shot, no good. Last chance for VCU. Rafael Santos, his shot, and it nails the crossbar. Akron barely escapes another game-winning goal in extra time. They go on to tie VCU 0-0.
The University of Akron's volleyball team had their conference home opener on September 29th against Buffalo. The Zips started off strong, dominating the Bulls offensively and defensively in the first set. Maddie Bayer delivered a kill to the Bulls' right corner, and Amanda Bedell spikes the ball too hard for Buffalo's Ali Bodowski to handle. The Zips won the first set 25-17. Akron carried the momentum into the second set as the Zips took an early lead. Carly Kusin sets up Maddie Bayer, and she finishes with a spike. The volleyball team displayed excellent teamwork throughout the second set. Buffalo fights back and makes the second set an exciting battle. But it didn't take long for the Zips to respond as the Zips won the second set 25-21. The third set is when things start to go wrong for the Zips, as Buffalo came out ready to play with the game on the line. But Akron fights back, but finishes a hard-fought third set 26-24 in heartbreaking fashion. Buffalo came out strong in the fourth set and jumped on Akron early. Senior Amanda Bedell gets a kill to keep Akron in the game. Buffalo's Cassie Shadow responds with her own kill. Junior Jessica Cullen sends a spike that turns into another kill for the Zips. Cassie Shadow carried the Bulls offensively in the final 3 sets, and she put Buffalo up for good in the 5th set. The Bulls had everything going for them in the 5th set, as Megan Lynette spikes the ball that Akron could not defend. Scout McLaren blocks the ball to win the game for the Bulls, and Akron loses their MAC home opener to fall to 5-10 on the season.
A tough draw for the men's soccer team and a tough loss for the volleyball team.
Both teams have had kind of a rough stretch, but hopefully they can rebound and finish the season strong.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, Daniel steps down and Don steps up for Don Take. Don't go anywhere. The ZTV Sports Report will be right back. Back to the ZTV Sports Report. We have Don Take, where Don Wagner gives his take on everything going on in Akron athletics. What's up, Don?
How's it going, Cam?
So, Don, what do you think of the football team so far? Do you think they make a bowl game, MAC championship? How far can the team go?
Well, I'm not ready to say MAC championship, not yet, no. But bowl game, definitely. I think that Akron, they have an explosive offense, and I think that they'll definitely go about 500, maybe a game or two over, and I think that that definitely gets them into a bowl game. I think if I'm a bowl committee and I'm looking at teams, I want an explosive offense because that's ratings in college football. They want to see points on the board. And Jerome Lane and JoJo Natson, Thomas Woodson, those boys can put up some points. So definitely a bowl game. MAC championship, maybe next year.
Understandable. Going to soccer, would you be willing to say they are struggling at this point? Or are you not ready to hit the panic button yet? Do they have a chance to go back to the College Cup?
I'm not ready to hit that button yet. No, I'm just, going to put it back. No panic. Honestly, they play a ranked team almost every single game. It's top 25. And then they had a tough road trip in Texas and California. Those are good teams. They end on the road. And you have a lot of young guys like Sky Harder, and they're trying to step up and fill roles like from Richie Larea, who was an amazing player. Then you have a returning, we just got Stuart Holthusen back, who's been out virtually the whole season. So I'm not ready to hit that button yet. So I still think they got a good chance to go deep into the playoffs.
So now for all sports, who would you name your MVP for the first quarter of the season?
That's a tough one because the soccer team has been struggling. I was ready. I predicted at the beginning of the year that I'd be saying Adam Najim, but it hasn't been going the way we all hoped for with soccer. So I would have to go with JoJo Natson. He's come in, he's explosive, and he got us our first punt return in since 2003. So he's an explosive player, and he's fun to watch. I'm got to go with JoJo Natson on that one.
Well, thank you, Don. Not sure I agree with all of that, but you live up to your reputation for hot takes. And with that, we're out of time. But for this week, be sure to tune in to the next edition of the ZTV Sports Report.
And in the meantime, be sure to follow us on social media to catch up on everything happening in Akron athletics at ZTV Sports on Twitter and ZTV Sports Report on Facebook and YouTube.
Thank you for tuning in to the ZTV Sports Report, your home for everything Akron Zips athletics. See you next time.